Here we are at the legendary city of Volk, but not on 2B. No, this is an exact replica of the city at the height of its popularity. And here I am with none other than the legend himself, Sato. Even though Sato is mostly retired from 2B2T, we still PvP with him to keep up our game. The veterans use this arena in order to test out every possible PvP situation. We can even recreate lag spikes from 2B2T. That's how accurate we can make it. For today's training session, we each chose a different style of combat. He's using the sword, I'm using the axe. He's using anti-knockback hacks, and I'm not. So we're trying to see how big of a difference this makes. Now, it might seem like he's not hitting me, but he is. My shield is being held up constantly, but aura hacks will allow you to swing your melee weapon even while your shield is held up. So it actually does make a slight difference in combat knowing how to use your shield. An armor set on 2B2T at the highest levels of combat will usually last you around 5 to 7 minutes, meaning whoever has the most armor sets is usually going to win. And that's assuming both players have god apples and are using hacks. Now on 2B2T, I rarely hack, but when I do, it's usually when I know I'll be facing a high-level opponent that could potentially kill me. So for example, if I ever face Rusher, I'm gonna have hacks. If I ever face Mitch, I'm gonna have hacks. If an old player gets a little too upset with me and tries to betray me, I'm gonna use hacks. Now, Worst and Impact are my two favorite clients, but right now I'm trying out Maddox just to see what it's like. And it doesn't have reach hacks, which is going to be very unfortunate for me. I've also noticed that the sword has a faster swing speed, so I'm guessing my armor set is going to break before Sato's does. But like I said, this is all for testing purposes. We can test these in safe conditions so that we're not actually risking anything on the real server. And he completely broke my shield there, so now I'm at his mercy basically. He's got the reach hacks and I don't. Now I'm paying for it. Another thing people assume is that by using your shield and blocking a melee attack, it won't affect your armor's durability. It does. Even if you block a melee attack with your shield, your armor is still going to lose durability. So that's something to keep in mind if you ever find yourself in combat. Since I still have a lot of armor durability and plenty of golden apples, I guess I'll tell you a little bit of the history between Sato and I. Back in 2014, a friend of mine in the game, James Russells, who also runs the 2B2T blog, introduced me to Sato. And after a period of time and Sato kind of figuring out if he could trust me or not, he eventually invited me to one of his bases, Asgard 2, which was a massive base with a lot of players on the server. Now I stayed there and based with him for some time, but eventually the cords to Asgard 2 were leaked, and the downfall of that base is what led to the third incursion. Now Sato led the third incursion at spawn. He planned it out. He gave us all instructions. I was one of his soldiers, basically. And we defended Wrath Outpost for a month. Even after the incursion was over, I still stayed for 2 weeks and still killed anyone that came close to it. So, Sato and I go way back. He's a player that I greatly respect. Now during this little skirmish, it's just our weapons, our armor, and our apples. Of course, on the real server, you're going to have other variables like potions, maybe little tricks and traps, but there's plenty of opportunities for us to test those. But at the end of the day, none of that stuff really matters. It all comes down to who's got more armor and who's got more god apples. High-level PvP using hacks is all a numbers game. That's all it is. Who hits the most? Who's got the most durability on their armor? It all comes down to numbers at the end of the day. At this point, I can already tell I've lost this fight. He's got the reach hacks, and I don't. He's got the faster swing speed, and I don't. So my armor is probably way more degraded than his is right now. But see, this is the beauty of it. We get to test out these variables in a safe circumstance. I always get a kick out of it when I read some of my YouTube comments saying, oh, Fit doesn't hack. When push comes to shove and I need to win a fight, I'll do anything to win. Anything. Most serious PvPers will come to spawn with at least 5 armor sets, meaning that these fights can last over half an hour, sometimes even more. So this is definitely an endurance game as well as a numbers game. This is also a big reason why you don't see a lot of the old players fighting each other at spawn, because usually they're both experienced enough to know how drawn out and pointless the fight would actually be. You would just be wasting equipment, and then at the end of the day, someone's either going to combat log or pearl away. I better start eating my apples, or else I'm gonna die. Yeah, with your god apples, you can tank with them to a point. Eventually, once your armor starts getting destroyed, you can eat as many god apples as you want, but it's not gonna save you. So that's why having the armor set intact is so important in the fight. There goes Sato's helmet. I'm guessing I've already lost some armor too, because he was swinging a lot faster than I was. Oh yeah. I'm definitely taking more damage, so I've lost something. Oh yeah, I'm definitely about to die. Just like I said, it's funny, 2 minutes ago I already told you, yep, I'm gonna lose this fight from a numbers perspective. Part of staying alive on 2B is just knowing when you're not gonna win and when to get the hell out of there. It's also part of why I have so few deaths on 2B. It's because I know when to pick my battles. I don't go into a battle unless I know I can win. And here I sit getting obese on god apples while Sato hacks me to death. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Yup, this is the end for me. This is the end. GG, Sato, GG. And just like that, we're ready for round 2. Like I said, we just keep going and going. We've been spending a lot more time in here lately as the Russia conflict continues to escalate. So we'll definitely be testing out all kinds of different clients, different hacks, different situations, different amounts of lag to fully get us ready to fight. It's gonna be a bloodbath, and it's one that we're gonna win.